It's different.
Okay, welcome everybody. This is Robert from Speak with Soul, and tonight we are having our first session of Eat with Soul. So this is Speak with Soul's cooking program and cooking classes, and we're going to get a sneak peek tonight. You'll have to forgive me. My voice, I'm kind of losing my voice. I've been losing it for the past couple of days. So I'm going to try and talk not quite as much this time, but I'm going to allow our chef to do most of the talking. So tonight we have Ms. Chloe Yi.
Hi. I can hear.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
We have two cameras set up here. Let me turn the audio off here. Okay, we have two cameras set up here to give you two views of everything that is going on. So just so that you can get a full featured view of what we are going through tonight. So tonight, as everyone should know, we are going to be making Ddeokguk. Ddeokguk, which is rice cake soup. So I hope everyone has their ingredients ready. We did send out the ingredients and the recipe list to give you a couple of days to prepare everything. But before we hop into it, I just wanted to ask Ms. Chloe, could you tell us a little bit more about maybe Ddeok or Ddeokguk? So for example, the Ddeok, the rice cakes, how are those made? They're a very peculiar dish. They're shaped like ovals and it's like sliced rice. So how is that even made?
I've never made one myself, but what I know is that you soak rice for like 6 hours or overnight, and then you grind it, and then you steam with salt, and then you shape the way you want. So for Ddeokguk, normally you would just make them into these, what would you call it?
Like a tube?
Yeah,
shape?
tube shape.
Yeah.
And then wait until they get a little bit like what?
Maybe hard or
Yeah, and then you
solid.
Right, you slice the way you want. So normally the ones you'd buy from H Mart or would be like this shape. And from what I hear, this actually symbolized the money coin. So that's why they told you finish your roll, because the more you eat, the more money you make. Right. So I think that's the reason why. But then I just remember that the way you make dog, they kind of pound that, what do you call the batter?
Recording in progress.
Pound the what do you call it? Like a mortar.
Yeah, but then the rice kind of, it had no shape. So to make it sticky, you pound the batter together.
So it's like you have to you cook the rice first and then you start pounding the rice with.
Right, to make it like sticky, because they would not necessarily stick together. So you would pound, but I just remember that the reason why also they do it, it is a teamwork, because you would have two people pounding, like me go for, and then you to go, and then so from the beginning, it's a teamwork, like saying, yeah, we are like a one, we should work together. So you already have that kind of a community,
Right,
you know,
right.
spirit. So we don't have that now in Seoul.
You know, I remember back in maybe 2009, 2010 when I was in Korea, if you go to Insadong, it's if you're not familiar with Insadong, it's in Seoul, and it's a district that is more touristy. A lot of tourists will go there, but you'll find a lot of older, like traditional Korean souvenirs and artifacts. They had two men making ddeokguk there. So there was a mortar which is probably this tall, and they both had huge hammers, which are like this big. And then they were just going at it back and forth, going at it back and forth. So that was really cool.
I see. Yeah. So I think that's how they now everywhere it's just a factory and then they have all the machine. But before that was the tradition, like teamwork, communities. So and then actually they would make like big pots for the entire village, not just for individual family. Yeah, so I think it really was like a community focused activity. And then also like sebe, bowing, it was not just to your parents, it was like almost every grown up in the village, like you would go.
So what about ddeokguk rice cake soup? Now, traditionally, when is this eaten in Korea?
The lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year.
Yeah, not Western.
Not Western New Year, so which is perfect because Lunar New Year is the next week, the 29th, right?
Right.
Got it. Okay. So Lunar New Year, and then do you know how the idea of eating rice cake, what it has to do with Lunar New Year? The connection between those two?
Yeah, the only information I've heard so far, it's like I said, is symbolized, the shape symbolized money. Before Korea didn't have paper money. It was all coins, holes in the middle, you know, so you just string to put them together and carry. So I think that's why.
Got it. Yeah. Kind of like for the next year, I want to be prosperous.
Right.
Make a lot of money.
And also there's just something interesting. In Japan, the night before New Year, they have what do you call that Japanese noodle? Momil, which is buckwheat and it has no starch. So it kind of like breaks really easily. So they have a buckwheat 모밀국수 the night before New Year. So all these bad, difficult things just like you chew away. And then before, you know what I mean?
Like bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck. You just like pray, you know. But in Korea, on the other hand, I think they wanted something more sticky. Of course, they didn't have a lot of options, but something it's like you're attracting the fortune, so you want it to be sticky, stick to your teeth, and so it's kind of interesting how two cultures are different.
Interesting. I've never heard that about Japan, but that is really cool. I've heard similar things actually in African culture based on food and you know how you prepare it. So it's very interesting.
And also you share the food only kind of with the people you like. So you break off your bad luck with the ones.
You guys are invited tonight.
Yeah, with the people you like, or like new fortune.
Got it. Okay. All right, so excellent. How about we go ahead and get started here, but let me just give a disclaimer. This is part of CAD week. This is one event throughout the entire week. We're going to be having free events for this particular session. If you have any questions for myself or for Chloe, go ahead and throw it in the chat. I'm going to be looking at the chat kind of in between as we're cooking, and then this is recorded. So I will email the recording to everyone so that they have access to it. You don't have to record it yourself, don't worry. In addition, you should already have the ingredients and the recipe. If you don't, reach out at contact@speakwithsoul.com and I'll shoot it right over to you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If you don't have ingredients, it's no problem. If you do have ingredients and you're going to be cooking along with us, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get started. So what is step one here?
Okay, so first I want to know how many people like do we have any vegetarian here? You are okay. So and then okay, I actually want to see okay. All right, Jennifer and Jean. So Jenny,
Yes,
okay.
Jennifer, Jean, Sung, Jenny.
So this is actually not vegetarian, but I'm gonna tell you how to make it vegetarian. It's really easy. Edge, I don't know if you know, but tteokguk is not the best friend if you're watching your carb. But if you're vegetarian, probably you're not using chicken stock either, right? Okay, that's okay. So this is what I normally use for my friend who are vegetarian. I will send the photos later if you're interested for my broth. And then it's my refrigerator, but something I think I sent you. Oh, this is a really good one if you can find. It's a completely vegetarian, something in blue. Can they see it?
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, this is called the matsoi soy. It's a completely vegetarian, so I will send you all the photos of what I use. But for non-vegetarian, this is so this. I use the umami dashi. This one is all vegetarian except this has shaved fish. So if you're not eating fish, you might want to stay away from that. But this is 100% all vegetable. So that's another one. But so let's just to start with, because I'm using beef. Okay. I like to get the blood kind of
To drain it?
yeah, drain it. So this is what I do, maybe about 30 minutes, no more than 30 minutes.
Just let it sit.
Let it
On top
sit.
of a
Yeah, it
napkin.
makes your broth taste so much lighter than when you actually, and this rice cake, I soaked in like purified water for 30 minutes. So one trick I'm gonna tell you is if you're not vegetarian, the meat will get seasoned. But if you're vegetarian, what I would do is, oops. Okay, that's enough. I normally, my friend who are vegetarian, I use this fish sauce. A lot of Korean people use like 2, 3 different kinds, like soy sauce. One, like they would use a soup soy sauce and then regular soy sauce. I don't like using a lot of them. I like something simple. So later, if you want to know how other people make, then just to let me know. I will let you know, send you what they do. But for me, I just use a fish sauce because it's clean and also it doesn't make your soup too murky. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you're not using a lot. And I also use salt as well. So that's what I do. But like I said, you can use a traditional way. So like I said, if you're not using any meat, then I recommend that maybe you use 1 tablespoon of soy sauce and just kind of marinate before you put them into the broth later. It will make, oh, you can't really tell, but definitely make it taste better. So let me see. First, for the beef, Korean people like to use sesame oil to cook beef, but it has a very low cooking temperature. So I make sure that it's not like burning fire.
Otherwise you'll burn the oil.
Yeah, and that's not good for you. It doesn't taste good. It tastes kind of burnt. So I will do like low or medium low, and then I have not like I'm using very little, like little bit of I'm using a little bit of meat, so I'm not gonna use a lot of oil. But what I will do is I will have like 1 teaspoon of garlic, and then you kind of make sure that you don't burn garlic
And it
because
looks like that's minced.
Yeah,
Minced garlic.
yeah.
Okay.
if you burn your garlic, your soup's gonna taste really bitter. All you wanna do is kind of like almost making garlic oil, like really low heat, and then let it cook.
All right, I'm gonna grab the camera here and just show you the
Yeah.
inside of the pot.
And if you guys have any questions, just to let me know now. Some people at this point do add the white parts of a green onion, but I don't like doing that because I think it makes kind of the broth taste heavy. So I like to add mine once I start boiling my broth instead of making onion oil. So this smells good. And then what I will do is now, when you're using meat, I want to show you how it's do you say it's marbling, the fat?
You said it's marbling?
Yeah, the fat here, like the fat.
Like like a design, like a marble table design, where
Yeah.
it's kind of it's pronounced. You can see it more.
So yeah, what I want to explain is when you're cooking for broth, you actually don't want to completely cook your meat. What you want to watch out for is the fat actually kind of being cooked. And then when you think those white parts, it's cooked, that's when you can add other ingredients. But it's the fat, sounds funny, make the broth taste good.
Mhm.
So make sure that you're not burning your meat or the garlic. So you just go. And then if it was a traditional, I would use a chunk of brisket and then cook it like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's really long. So if you want to do that way, let me know. I have a recipe for that. But I'm so used to cooking for 2 people or 4 or that amount of people. I want it to be simple so I can also entertain my friends and have fun as well. But I do know how to cook other ways. If you're interested, let me know.
So I have a question. Are there, like maybe a long time ago, did people used to boil the meat like for hours a day before using it? Because I know many cultures, like for example, Vietnamese noodle soup, that the beef is boiled for like 6 hours before it's then used.
Right.
Soup.
Yeah. I'm gonna add little bit of fish sauce to season the meat.
So it's about a spoonful of fish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, going back to your question, if you think about it, in the beginning, I already told you that it was a village, a community. So they would cook, like, I don't know if you've seen traditional Korean pot that is giant. You can have 3 children take a bath in there. So they would be like, they would actually cook probably big chunks of a brisket just to cook all night long with a vegetable. The only difference would be in Korea, we do not use like cinnamon or those all seasonings that we use. So it will be just like garlic, onion, vegetable, you know. So see how the fats are melted away. Now you can see it. And then, please. Oh, it's a hot something. It's very hot. I don't know if you want to do that. Can you move? Wow. So it looks nothing now. So now I already, okay, this is another tip I do. A lot of people boil these bags in hot water.
And this is the umami?
Yeah, umami.
Okay, so that's this one that was showed earlier. It comes in tea bags.
And if you look at the instruction, it says that, put the bag in boiling broth or boiling water for 5 minutes. But I actually stopped doing that because I read that those white bags, actually, when you use them in really hot water, boiling water, a lot of microplastics actually get released. So what I do now is, if it's possible, either I leave them overnight in the refrigerator in the water, or maybe at least like a couple of hours, you still get benefit.
Right.
And like for example, this one, it's all round, so you can actually cut, and then if you want, you can, yeah. So at this point, I'm gonna raise the heat a little bit. I already put, that was about, I might change my recipe because I said it's about 6 cups, but when I tasted and everything, I think actually maximum 5 cup for what I'm cooking. If you want, you can put more water, but it's hard to go back to less water. So I say start with either 4, 5 cup, and then as you go along. And then at this point, like I said, before it start boiling. So this is how I cut my green onion. I cut the green parts first, and then the white parts. And then I put the green parts at the bottom, white parts on the top. Why? Because I like having this white top in the broth in the beginning, and I like using the green parts as a garnish on top later. That way I don't have to go back and forth.
Oh, so you use the green will retain its greenish color.
Yeah, so I put them later, but if you just to put the white parts first, you have to take all the way out and then use that. So little things you do make your cooking so much easier and actually tastier. So do that here. And then let me see. So you just wait until it boils, which, well, I just put this. And this is a good time if you have other questions.
Yes. Are there any questions? I don't think I saw anything in the chat, but if you have questions, now is there is one in the chat. Now is a good time to ask. Let me see. Oh, wow, okay. Yes, if you have any questions about the food, you can turn your mic on and then ask the question. Any questions about any of the ingredients or historically about this dish, or maybe nowadays with regards to tteokguk. I mean, in Korea, for example, if you wanted to have some now, is it a common dish that you can go to pretty much any restaurant to find, or are there particular restaurants you have to
It
go
is
to?
pretty common, but I think more in the States than in Seoul. Like I said, normally we don't really have a tteokguk all the time.
Right.
And Korean people now, they watch cards so much that this is not the most popular. But I also know how to make it more healthy. Instead of just using this dashi water,
Yes.
if you use like chicken bone broth, they will add like at least 25 grams of protein just to having that, using that.
Right.
And then you can also feel like you don't like beef, you can use chicken breast, like strips, and also
Do
or
people ever
tofu.
make it with tofu? Do people ever make it with fish or seafood? Or
I
that's
have not
really...
seen one yet. Maybe if you go to Busan, maybe, but I have not seen one myself. That would be more like there's a guksu, that's a Korean noodle dish with broth. Then yes, we do use not fish, but maybe like shellfish or like but for tteokguk, so like I put, this is about 3 cups of tteok soaked in water about 30 minutes. If I cook this now in Seoul, they will barely touch the rice cake. So like I actually would have more meat, or we have the dumpling that has meat. So yeah, it's not the most popular dish, but also sometimes this is what people crave when they're not really well. Like you guys have a chicken.
Yeah, but we have chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, but it's like that. Yeah. So now you can add. I put about a spoon when I cook the beef, just so that the beef has some taste or seasoning when you eat it. See how the white parts of the green onion actually holds its shape. So yeah, and then you make the stock tasty. And then I will probably add a little bit more. And then later, once I finish cooking, I will finish seasoning with salt. But I would not add any kind of soy sauce, whether it's a fish sauce or soy sauce, because like I said, you don't want your broth to be like really
Skipping along.
murky. But if you look, the broth is pretty clean because I drained the blood. You see that? Otherwise, there will be like many foams. So now it's boiling. So I will add. And usually it takes about 3 to 5 minutes once you boil. But the trick here also is you have to stir sometimes. Otherwise, they will stick together.
The rice cakes will stick together if you don't stir.
Yeah. I am actually separating the meat slices, not the dog. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, it's not rice cake. It's actually the beef slices. Somehow they stuck together. Okay. So like that. Leave it alone. I think it's gonna be less than. Oh, one more trick. If you are having people over, you wanna cook it before, at least some like parts before they come and join you.
Yeah.
What I do is I cook broth separately from dogs, and then I make a big pot of a hot water next to the broth. And then whenever guests to come, then I just cook my duck there. And then kind of serve them,
Right.
you know, in that
As they come.
in that
So
way.
Made ready to serve it.
Right. In that way, the duck doesn't soak up all the broth, and then you know what I mean. Like
How long do you have until the duck absorbs too much and people don't want to eat it?
I mean, for myself, within 15 minutes, because I
really?
like mine kind of a chewy. I like my broth being clean, but like you know how far you take to bring it home leftover the next day, there's no broth left, and
Right.
it's all like this. Yeah, so that's what I do. If I'm eating it right away, then I do this way. But if I'm having people over for this, then for Ddeokguk, then I would make, like I said, a big pot of a hot water, and then my broth is already ready. So when my friends come over, I scoop my broth, and then I put cooked duck,
Yes.
and then garnish with the like green onion and other things. At this point, I'm gonna add the dumplings. It's completely up to you guys. Maybe one day we can learn how to make dumplings if you want. But
These
today,
ones did you make or did you?
no, today I bought
And what is inside of these dumplings? No, it's fine that you made it. I mean,
chicken.
Okay, chicken.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But we can make dumplings. It's easy. I also
Okay.
do easy way.
Yay,
Like I
nay for
said,
dumplings. Yay, nay. All right, let's see a yay there.
so also dumplings, I can do it easier way, where maybe sometimes, you know, it's kind of funny when I make things easy, actually it end up being more healthy for me.
Really?
Yeah, that because I mean I do from scratch, but I think that sometimes traditionally people tend to use too much seasonings or
Right.
like a yeah
Or like dry seasoning.
yeah or like the like meat, like fatty parts instead of the less fat. It's
Right.
much faster to cook meat that has less fat.
Right.
Or you know, even the cooking, like for vegetables, I like using low heat or steaming instead of like using high, you know, because I
Right.
think that
Puts all the nutrients out.
yeah, I think so.
Right.
So if you put dumpling, these are gonna take a little longer to cook. I should have put a little bit sooner, but the way you know that duck and the dumplings are cooked, they will start floating. You see, like the ducks, they're start.
It's floating right now. I think you all can see it in the camera.
Can
This
you?
one. But the duck is floating, and then the dumplings are sitting at the bottom right now, so you don't see them on the surface.
So if you're a vegetarian, you will just skip the first part. You know how I cook the garlic and meat?
Yeah.
So you just skip that. It's even more like you will skip that and you just if only if you want, maybe you will cook garlic in sesame oil. But don't use too much. It will make your broth really bitter. So low heat, just a little bit. Pour your stock, and then when it boils, that's when you put stock or mando.
Right.
And then actually, it's kind of interesting. Not for vegetarian, but for people who like meat but don't have a meat. What they do is they will get meat dumpling and intentionally break one or two dumplings, and then your broth tastes like a beef broth.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a one trick also you can do. This one actually looks pretty good.
So at this point, how should it taste? Like if people are making it and they want to check and see how the taste is, like what is it a little bit salty right now, or is it should it be bland?
It really is completely up to you.
So
Yeah, that's why I start like a little by little.
right.
I sometimes will do very basic and even leave like soup soy sauce or fish sauce for my friends and ask them if they want to add a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's really completely up to you.
And when people season it, it'll usually be either salt or fish sauce or soy sauce. Typically those.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Typically, those, and then now, at this point, traditionally you will stop cooking, but because I want to show how to make it easy.
Oh, show the egg.
Yeah. So, what should I do? Okay. Can they see? I'm just breaking an egg. Can they see?
Yep, we just have an egg here.
And then this is the trick. Make sure that your heat is high enough and you slur, but do not stir in the soup. Little by little, like this, little by little. But some people, Italian wedding soup, I know they go and stir in the soup, but in Korea, you don't do that. You just do little by little. You see how they kind of like float instead of mixing into the soup. Yeah, so that's the trick. And then it's gonna cook.
So the egg should be on the surface instead of.
Yeah, like the Italian wedding soup, they kind of make it beaten into the soup, but not in Korea. You have to see the.
Got it.
And then.
Let's get a shot of this.
Good.
Oh, keep going.
Okay, and then I'm gonna turn the heat up. And then now, this is the time I will add my green onions so they will look still pretty. They will look still pretty and green, but they're not uncooked. So that's another trick I usually have.
So you can see how the egg is on the surface of the soup, hanging on the surface. So none of the egg really sank down to the bottom. And that's because you were adding the egg so lightly and was able to do that.
And then this is the time I'm gonna taste my soup. I am stirring now because my eggs are like fluffy, look almost like a omelet, right? Like they're already cooked. The heat is off. I'm gonna taste my soup. Oh, it is good. I like it. And then some people add. I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use a little bit of sesame oil, but see how I turn my stove off and then adding it. So
Right, so no heat right now, right?
Yeah. Actually, sesame oil will become bad for you if you cook them.
It's too hot.
Yeah, too hot. So health-wise, it's always better to cook low heat or after you turn the heat on, you know. And then it actually tastes really good, but I know you don't eat beef. So but I'm gonna show you how to garnish it.
Yes, no problem. Yes, I don't eat beef, but this was for you guys. It's not for me. So you can watch Chloe as you can observe Chloe as she tastes the delicious tteokguk, and I'll just I'll be here on the side watching too.
So this is the actually special bowl from Korea. I got these I think when I became some years old as a gift from Korea.
Very
It's
nice.
white porcelain.
It looks like someone made it for you.
Yes, yes.
Really?
So yes. So this like that. And then can they sit?
Yep.
And then what I will do is, you know, these are like a store-bought seasoned seaweed. So I will put a little bit up there. And then I got sesame seed.
Okay.
You can put like without crushing, but also if you crush just a little bit, it tastes even more like buttery or
Really?
And then I didn't have to, but because I was so bored, actually not true. I wanted to show you guys what else you can do. This is like a taco. You can make a lot of them and just to like display on your table and let your friends go and just do whatever they want, you know?
But it's egg, right?
Yeah, egg. So I separated white and yellow part. And then so
Get the shot.
yes. And then maybe I should show one talk. That was all about the hold on. So I actually here and then what you would do is this is the kimchi.
That looks so pretty.
Thank you. Minji, come and taste it and tell us how you like it. Thank you, Minji.
All right, so there it is. Tteokguk.
Here we
It
go.
looks delicious.
와, 사람들 지금
얼굴 안 보이게 얼굴이 안 나와.
Oh,
hello.
yes, you can say hi. Hello. Oh, actually, we should show her face so she can tell whether it's good or bad. Hot, very hot. Is it good?
This is like the Korean shows where they just watch people eat food and then
Yeah.
like watch their
Why do you call
reactions.
This is
Mukbang.
mukbang.
Mukbang. Yes, mukbang.
We're doing mukbang.
Jinshis, I'm so
sweet.
hungry.
What am I gonna do with this soup this much? You guys should have come and have some. Actually, it tasted really good. I'm impressed.
You made it.
I know, but I didn't know it was gonna be this good. But like I said, if you guys want to have friends over, you can make it into like I did, like I don't know, what do you call like taco concept? So
Yes.
you do the broth and then you do the hot batch of water. And then you just to kind of look like a hotel, stand in front of, and then
Right.
like help your friend with the soup, and then you put all the garnish, and then they can do, yeah, the different kimchi and side dishes,
Right.
and people really love it.
Alright. I do have a question. Let me get our camera
Is
right.
everyone okay? How am I doing? I can't hear any of you. Any questions or it's my first time? trying to look like I know what I'm doing.
I'll be having this for my birthday
Oh,
and for
well,
Seoul, someone stated.
yeah, if you guys try to plan something, have any questions, let me know. I would love to help you guys, or any Korean phrases you want to know.
Actually, I do have a question. Jenny, she said, I'll be having this for my birthday, Seoul weekend coming up.
Mhm.
Very exciting.
And also, I want to show you that that was Minji, my daughter. She actually likes, I don't know if you can see this kind of stuff. This is a different kind. It's completely what's called popcorn, right? Yeah,
That was
popcorn.
Korean.
Yeah, Doreni. So they're like these ones too, these kind.
It's like a snowman that only has two parts,
Yeah.
like the bottom and the stomach, but there's no head.
And they're more chewy because, you know, they're not as thin as the other one. Oops. Yeah, so they're more chewy, you know. So yeah, Minji, actually my daughter, she likes these more because these are chewy and more fun. So I keep them. And then I noticed that also they tend to hold the shape and texture longer
Really?
than the,
So like even if, for example, it won't soak up and kind of
it will take a little longer.
got it.
Yeah. So, but I always think that texture wise, it's better if you soak about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then I don't know what they do, but there's sometimes like scent or smell
Right.
that I don't know what that is.
Yes.
But if you soak in water, even just for maybe 1-5, like 15 minutes, I think that the taste, kind of that smell goes
Get rid
away.
of it.
Yes. And like I said, if you're vegetarian, make sure that you marinate in either soy sauce or fish sauce, just a little bit for like 10 to 15 minutes.
I have a question. Do you also soak rice before you cook it?
People do, but I don't. The way I cook rice is customized for my daughter because she doesn't like carb. So it's very different. I can show you how to cook. I have a rice cooker, but I don't. But the way I cook, I think I get rid of at least more than 40% of all the carb.
Really?
Yeah, and then I use just a pot.
Wow,
And then
okay, that'll be a whole nother class.
yeah, so I do that. And then, yes, they do so. Oh, only thing about rice.
Yes.
We always ask why American people do not rinse the rice. I mean, you should definitely rinse even if you're not soaking your rice, you should definitely wash your rice at least about 3 times. You know, but try to make sure you're gentle so you're not breaking the rice grain. You know.
I have another question. What is a phrase or an expression around
Tapo?
yeah, if you wanted to use it, you know, this upcoming Seoul with a Korean person, like what is
So normally you would say when you offer food in Korea, we say eat a lot, 많이 먹으세요, 많이 먹어, or 맛있게, eat deliciously. Literally,
right.
that's right. But only New Year, they will say when you put the food in front of your guest or family member, you will say, like 새해 복 많이 받아. Or if you are the younger member of family, you will say 새해 복 많이 받으세요.
So the same phrase that you use when you're telling someone Happy New Year, you'll
Yeah.
say that when you're serving
Right,
to somebody.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's like eat up
Also,
so you can have blessings.
It's different depending on the family.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, some people will say 많이 먹어 and then 부자 돼. That means to eat a lot and become rich. Depending on the family.
Okay. Does your family do that? Because if so, I'm gonna come over for some lot.
Oh, my father doesn't like people talking at the table.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, we're not allowed, but we just assume, you know. But a lot of people say 많이 먹어 부자 돼, 많이
Yes.
먹어 건강해. Or also they will say 더 먹어, have some more.
Eat some more.
Yeah,
Okay.
eat some more. Yeah, they went through Japanese colonization and then Korean War, so food was very scarce.
Right.
You know, so eating well was very important. So instead of how are you, mom and dad would tell their like ask children after not seeing them for a year, 2
Right.
years, they would be like, 밥 먹었어? 뭐 먹을래?
That's like the
Yeah.
most important thing, whether or not you ate. Like, did you eat breakfast? Did you eat lunch?
You show up 4 a.m. The first thing, 뭐죠?
It's the first question.
What should I give
Yeah.
you? 뭐 먹을 거야? You know, so even my daughter who's born here, was born here, she's only 14. I'm like, instead of saying, are you okay? Or something, I'll be like, 뭐 먹고 싶어? What do you want? Or like, even when she leaves, what do you feel like when you come? I mean, it's 7 a.m. She's not even like awake, but I'm already asking her, what do you feel like when you come? You
Right.
know? So eating well is really important,
Mhm.
but mainly wishing each other well, you know, and like I
Yes.
said, we used to be so poor,
Right.
like, yeah, be rich, you know, like
Mhm.
wishing you're making a lot of money is really important.
Excellent. Okay.
Mhm.
Very good. And then there was one more thing. There was one phrase that you had taught me earlier about having to do with.
And you
Oh,
allowed
in this
me,
case.
so I'm gonna say,
Yeah, it's hilarious. That's why.
so sometimes, I mean, maybe not like people who are so young, but pretty young or my age. Sometimes you might hear 똑같은 소리 하고 있네. How would you say?
So thought is the rice cake.
Rice
thought.
cake.
And then 같은 is a word that means like the same or like. 똑같은 소리.
소리,
소리 is sound.
Words.
그래서 하고 있네 means like you're doing. So you put it together, literally, it's you are speaking like rice cake.
Yeah, which means you're full of it. Oh, you're bullshitting.
So that's something that you'll hear actually often in Korean TV shows.
Yeah, yeah.
In different forms, like 똑같은 소리 하고 있네.
Yeah, so you can say, 떡 많이 먹어, and then someone says something to you, and you can turn around and say, 똑같은 소리 하고 있네.
I'll put that in the chat, don't worry. Or if you hear someone, yeah, if you another way to say it, 똑같은 소리 하지 마, right?
Yeah, yeah.
똑같은 소리 하지 마.
똑같은 yeah,
Like you're so full of it. Don't even go there.
Right.
Excellent. Well, let me go ahead and put that in the chat.
So is it Jenny who's gonna have a birthday?
Oh. Jenny 씨, yes.
Happy birthday.
Yes, 생일 축하해요, Jenny
생일
씨.
축하합니다.
And then there is a question here. How do you say put the rice cake into water? Like to put it in the water.
떡을
Oh, go ahead.
네, 떡을 that's funny. Actually, they say 떡을 냄비에 넣으세요, which means literally 떡을 put in the pot. Or if she wants to be a little more accurate, she can say 수프. We say 수프. 수프가 끓을 때, boiling. 떡 넣으세요. But that's very Americanized. 수프가 끓을 때. That means when it boils, when the soup is boiling.
Right.
떡을 넣으세요. Or moms would say 끓을 때. They don't say soup or nothing. 끓을 때. So when it boils, 끓을 때 냄비에 넣으세요. Put rice cake in the pot. That's funny. So with the leftover dog in Korea, they would make tteokbokki or they would roast duck
Roasted.
in the
Really?
oven slightly and then use honey and cinnamon on top. Yeah, so talking about carb, I mean, but it's good. It's good. You will put a little bit of a butter if you have. I mean, we used to have a margarine, no butter. And then you kind of roast or like pan fry it.
Yeah.
And then you put cinnamon on top, honey, and then cinnamon.
Can you invite me over the next time you make that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's fun. You do that. And the tteokbokki, of course. The two ways make tteokbokki. One using gochujang, which is spicy, but I think the red pepper came in the 18th century by Spaniards. Eighth, I have to check. My brain's not working.
That's fine. That's fine.
But-
We're gonna say that. We're gonna make a class out of that. one, so
yeah,
don't give
but
away everything.
so there's the kanjang tteokbokki,
Yeah.
which is not spicy,
Okay.
and then there's the spicy gochujang tteokbokki. But I learned something new that's really easy. In Korea, maratang. Maratang is a Chinese that hot spicy sauce. I learned how to use the sauce out of tube and used to leave it alone, and it become beautiful. You just like put odeng, tteokbokki, and eggs, and let that sauce just out of tube and let it cook. Leave it alone. One of the most delicious.
Really?
Yeah,
Spicy.
spicy. And
Very spicy.
yeah, very spicy.
Okay. All right. So when we have our tteokbokki episode, it's gonna
We'll
have
do
like a
like
couple of different
yeah.
versions.
Yeah, instead of just one.
Very exciting. All right. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Ms.
thank
Chloe.
you.
I hope you all enjoyed the class tonight. If you have any questions, this is your last chance. Again, this is Eat with Soul. This is Speak with Soul's cooking class, the debut.
Yeah, and then if you guys actually make it, send us photos.
Yes.
Like Jenny, if you're having people over, send us photos. But like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. I can send you other recipes or just to give you some ideas. So,
That would
yeah.
be
I did have
fab-
a question of how did you drain the blood from the meat?
Oh, how did you end up draining the, how did we drain the blood from the meat? That was the question, Jennifer?
Yes.
Yes, how did
Okay.
you drain the blood?
It's really easy. You need to make sure that you're not draining completely because then your meat will become chewy and not tasty. So what you do is, it's good that I didn't clean.
Yeah.
You will use 1 or 2 sheets of kitchen paper towel.
Yeah, okay.
And then just to stack your meat, if you have more than 1 layer, you will put another sheet of paper towel. And then just keep doing that. But I wouldn't do more than like 20 minutes because then, like I said, the meat will lose all its flavor. And another trick I learned from my English friend, she also told me that if you're really in a hurry and you really want to kind of drain the blood or fish, get rid of smell, if you have a full fat milk, just to emerge or submerge.
Right. Submerge.
Yeah, submerge either your fish or meat, but it has to be full fat. And at least like about 20 minutes, and then dry paper towel, then that smell
Really?
yeah, it works too. So,
Interesting.
but the milk is so expensive now.
Yeah, it's like $12 a carton, right? Something
Yeah.
like that. Oh boy. Okay, excellent
Oh,
question.
for vegetarian, I actually wanna show you. Maybe you can show them later. I would get shiitake mushroom, fresh one. Oh, you can use a dry one too. In Korea, we use dry one too. So I will slice them thinly and then use a bulgogi seasoning and then just the saute. And sometimes I think I like that more than meat. It tastes so good.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Oh, and then add that.
and
to the
then
soup.
as a garnish on
As a
top.
garnish,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then it's just like really good kind of a chewy,
Right.
and that shiitake has a beautiful scent. So it's actually another way Oh, I forgot. Just before you go, one more way for young people. Now, what they do, they I guess it's a famous chef who just was on TV and he did it, and now it's really popular. It's expensive though. You get pine nuts,
Yes.
and then you mix it with purified water, and then you blend as if it's like a pine nut milk. And then when the soup is boiling, once you cook your when it looks like your rice cake is almost cooked, that's when you add maybe a cup of that
The milk, the pine nut.
yeah, with the water and everything, not just what's at the bottom. And then I guess it makes it like almost like a ramen. You know how ramen has that milky
Yes.
texture?
Right.
So among young people, that's something. In that case, I haven't tried it, but I would be careful with sesame oil or maybe seaweed
Yes.
because I don't know how that would taste. So, sometimes you have to play with the flavors, what you like. But if you want to go something creamy or different, that's something that's popular now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Excellent. Well, thank you. You can see that Miss Chloe is like a wealth, a library of wealth when it comes to cooking. So we are very excited. I want to thank you so much for this debut in this first episode of Eat with Soul.
Thank you.
The next one will be on February 5th. So that'll be 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. And that one will be for exclusively for the Speak with Soul membership. And that one, I think we're going to be doing tteokguk. We'll
or kimbap or
kimbap,
whatever
yeah.
you guys request,
Yeah, we'll discuss and then work it out. So look forward to that. And Speak with Soul's CAD week has 2 more days. So tomorrow there is the ultimate South Korea crash course. If you have not been to Korea before and you plan on going there soon, this is perfect webinar to attend. I'm going to be going over some survival phrases, what you can expect. And then also the history of hunger, the Korean language, and a wealth of other things. And then finally on Friday, we're going to have an encore to the free online Korean class. So look forward to those. Again, this will be the only time until June to join the Speak with Soul membership. So if you know anyone who will be interested, let them know. The early bird ends tonight. Early bird is $49 a month, and then the full membership fee is $57 a month. All right. So again, thank you all for coming, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
안녕히 가세요.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
네.